Hi, I'm from Square Balloon, and today I'm going to teach you how to use Google Fonts in your Word documents. I also have some good cautionary tips on how to use this effectively, make sure everyone sees the same version of it that you see, and a really good cautionary tip at the end which will stop you making a couple of mistakes. So let's get started. Okay, before I start, if you like this content, please do subscribe, please do like, please do comment. It really encourages me to make more content and to know that I'm making the right type of content. Obviously, if you have questions, please write them in the comments. But let's get started. So Google Fonts is just a Google website. It's got loads and loads of fonts on it. I think it's really cool, and there's some really good fonts on there. So I'll look at Poppins because I like that one. And you can do some previews here, which is great. You can see all the different weights. So if you are choosing a font, sometimes it's a good idea to choose one with multiple weights, so you have bold and everything. Not everything has multiple weights. Some fonts only have one weight, so they won't have a bold or an italic, which may be a problem. Not always, but sometimes it will. These are some good examples showing it working, and it's kind of good to see what they look like, so you can compare it with other ones and stuff like that. So how do we install it? The first thing we do is click on Get Font. Second thing is we click on Download All. I've already done that. So now when it comes downloaded, I come with this zip file. If I extract that, it comes to a folder, and inside the folder we have all of the fonts. And because it's got different weights, each has its own true type font (TTF) file. It might have a different type of file, but that's what it has. So if you select them all and right click, you get this option: install or install for all users. Now, if you don't have multiple users or you don't need it for all users, don't click install for all users because that will take up a lot more space. Just click the install button. I've already done that. Once you've done that, if you type in fonts in your browser, you'll see all the fonts are installed, and you'll see Poppins is now one of them, which is great because then when you go into Word, uh, whatever. So now I can select my body and what's on my heading, and now we have Poppins. Fantastic. And then the body text, I can just make that Poppins as well. Okay, so apart from the obvious mistakes, it's just looking kind of good. And then it's using the fonts we wanted. Great. But if we send this to someone else, there's no guarantee it's going to look exactly the same. So this is the problem that you run into. Excuse me. So what you want to do is you want to come up here to File, and then you want to come down here to Options down the bottom, and then you want to come to the Save tab. Once you do that, if you scroll down, see there's an option here to embed the fonts in the file. If you make sure that's ticked, it will embed this Poppins font, which is going to mean that the next person can see it as well, which is useful. You may want to check that you have the license to do that or whatever it is. Some people don't give you a commercial license, you need to just check that. Also, there's this embed only the characters for the document. So if you have loads and loads of documents and you're embedding this font over and over again, that's going to take up quite a lot of your hard drive pretty quickly. So first of all, you may not want to do that, and second of all, you may want to tick this option. And you definitely want to tick do not embed common system fonts because like Arial is on all Windows computers and all Apples, or a substitute, so you don't really need to tick that. If you're going to have this document edited by somebody, you don't want to tick this button because they won't have all the characters, and when they edit it, some of the characters will look a bit weird. So yeah, definitely don't do that. Anyway, once you've covered all of that, you can be sure that your document is going to look the same when you send it to clients or anywhere else, which is useful. So what's my next cautionary tale? This one's a bit annoying because it's about Microsoft Outlook. So you think, oh, I've installed the font so I can use Outlook. I'll show you what happens with that. So I have a new email. Great. Right, so I've got that, and now I choose Poppins, and it looks good. It looks exactly the same as my Word document. However, if I send this to someone and they don't have Poppins installed, what will happen is it will just show a default fallback font instead. You don't really have a way to choose that fallback font, unfortunately. On the web, On the web, you have like really good tools where you can choose the fallback font, but in Microsoft they haven't given you that option. So sorry guys who are used to that, it doesn't exist as far as I know. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. Anyway, so now, oh, that's cool. Now if I send this to somebody, this is what I did with my colleague, and this is what he received. And if you look, the fallback font is it's actually Times New Roman, so actually nothing like Poppins. It hasn't even chosen a sans serif font. It's chosen a serif font, so it doesn't even fall back to the type of font it is, annoyingly. Um, so that's a bit of a problem. So how do you avoid that? Actually, the way I avoid that is by not using custom fonts in Outlook, to be honest with you. What I would do is just choose Calibri, Arial, something very, very common on all sites. So yeah, there you have it. As I say, if you find this useful, please subscribe and like the channel. But I hope this helps. Questions, put them in the comments.